You carried a heaviness that no one else understood, a quiet discomfort that whispered to you when the room fell silent. It wasn't anxiety or imagination, it was spiritual sensitivity. Your soul was picking up on misalignment long before any evidence surfaced. People may have dismissed your intuition, laughed at your concerns, or called you too emotional, but deep inside you knew something didn't sit right. That awareness wasn't a flaw, it was a gift. And now that everything is surfacing, it's finally clear. You weren't overthinking, you were discerning. The truth is that certain energies around you were never pure. Some people wore masks so well that others couldn't see through them, but you did. You felt the shift in their tone, the change in their eyes, the inconsistency in their behavior. Spiritual sensitivity isn't loud, it's subtle, soft, and deeply accurate. And now that the truth is out, your intuition stands validated. Let this be a reminder for your future. When your spirit speaks, listen. When your heart warns you, don't silence it. When you feel uneasy, pause and trust the inner wisdom guiding you. Now that the truth has emerged, breathe. You weren't wrong, you were chosen to see. There are people who can lie with their words but not with their energy. You sensed the contradiction long before anything came to light. Your intuition was picking up the truth hidden behind forced smiles, empty compliments, and rehearsed kindness. This wasn't paranoia, it was alignment. When your soul walks with clarity, it naturally disrupts spaces filled with secrecy. That tension you felt around certain people was your spirit recognizing what your mind couldn't articulate at the time. Your sensitivity made you aware of things others ignored. You saw patterns, heard the slips in conversations, felt the sudden tension when someone entered a room, and noticed how energy shifted when truth was near. Many chosen ones carry this awareness, not because they seek conflict, but because they live in truth. You've always had this ability. It's just that now, the world around you is catching up to what you sensed months or even years ago. You felt it because it was real. There was a moment, maybe recent, maybe long awaited, when everything clicked. A sudden realization, a piece of information, a confession, or even silence finally confirmed what your spirit had been whispering. It wasn't just relief. It was a deep exhale your soul had been waiting to release. And in that moment, the confusion turned into clarity. The heaviness turned into peace. The doubt turned into inner confirmation. People forget that truth has a way of emerging at the perfect time. No matter how deeply someone tries to bury it, truth will always rise. You didn't need revenge, confrontation, or evidence. Time handled everything with precision. Your patience, restraint, and silent endurance led you to this moment of understanding. And now, looking back, you can see how all the pieces fit together with divine accuracy. Now that everything aligns, you finally feel free. You've always had a heightened sense for deception and spiritual imbalance. Even when people tried to convince you that you were reading too much into things, your inner knowing refused to be silenced. This gift comes with responsibility and sometimes loneliness. Not everyone can understand what you feel so deeply, but now that the truth is exposed, that loneliness becomes validation. The whispers of your spirit were accurate all along. Understand that spiritual intuition is not superstition. It is a form of divine communication. Many chosen ones recognize truth without needing proof because their connection to God, to purpose, and to destiny remains unshaken. You've walked through seasons where your intuition was your only compass, your only warning, your only protection. And look how it has carried you, away from danger and closer to clarity. Trust it even more now. It has never failed you. Some people thought you didn't notice the manipulation, the half-truths, or the subtle disrespect. They mistook your silence for ignorance, your calmness for weakness, your kindness for naivety. But the truth is, you saw everything. You just chose not to react prematurely. You were waiting, watching, and listening, all while letting God reveal what needed to be revealed. People underestimate those who carry spiritual maturity. They assume you don't know what's happening behind the scenes simply because you don't confront them. But your restraint was your strength. You allowed time to expose what needed exposure. And now that the truth is out, those same people who doubted your intuition are forced to confront their own shadows. You were quiet, not clueless. When God exposes something, it doesn't happen randomly. It happens intentionally, precisely, and at the right moment. This season of exposure wasn't an accident. It was divine timing. Everything that was hidden had to come to light so you could step into your next chapter with freedom and clarity. You needed this truth, not for revenge, but for release. Exposure is not always dramatic. Sometimes it comes in the form of subtle changes, disappearing people, sudden confessions, or unexpected clarity, and each revelation pushes you closer to alignment. This exposure is not meant to hurt you but to heal you. You cannot carry lies into your destiny. You cannot drag broken connections into your purpose. Truth cleanses your path so you can walk forward without fear. This exposure was protection. Truth can be painful, especially when it involves people you trusted, but pain does not diminish the value of clarity. You may feel betrayed, disappointed, or heartbroken, but these emotions will turn into strength. What hurts you now is preparing you for what will elevate you later. You are shedding illusions, not losing anything real. Pain becomes wisdom, hurt becomes discernment, betrayal becomes direction, and clarity becomes a tool you'll carry for the rest of your life. Every revelation, even the painful ones, is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and spiritually sharper. Nothing you learned in this season will go to waste. The truth may hurt, but it also heals. Walking away was not weakness, it was obedience. Even before the truth fully surfaced, something in you knew it was time to detach. You felt the emotional drain, the energetic heaviness, and the spiritual fog. Your spirit was trying to protect you from what you couldn't yet see. And now, with clarity present, you understand why walking away was the best decision you could have made. Leaving did mean you stopped caring. It meant you started caring for yourself. Your peace, your emotional well-being, and your spiritual balance matter more than staying connected to people or situations that drain you. Walking away preserved your spirit and shielded your destiny. It allowed God to reveal the truth from a distance so you wouldn't be consumed by it. Your exit was your salvation. You displayed strength others didn't recognize at the time. You stayed silent when you could have exposed people. You remained calm when chaos surrounded you. You chose patience when anger would have been easier. You chose grace when you had every right to be cold. This strength is rare. It is divine. It sets you apart. What you endured quietly would have broken most people loudly, but you remained steady. You chose growth over retaliation. You chose elevation over ego. And because of that, God is elevating you in ways that no one can deny. Your reward is not validation from others. It is the peace that comes from knowing you handled everything with integrity. Your strength was your victory. Now that everything is exposed, you enter a new chapter, one filled with clarity, alignment, and direction. The truth didn't break you, it freed you. It didn't destroy you, it prepared you. It didn't delay you, it positioned you. You are stepping into a season where your intuition will become your greatest tool and your discernment will guide your next moves with confidence. This is your moment to rebuild, redirect, and rise. Let the truth empower your next steps, your next relationships, and your next decisions. Let it remind you that you were never lost, you were being guided. And now that the truth has surfaced, the path ahead is clearer than ever. Use your newfound clarity to walk boldly into your destiny. Your next chapter begins with truth. Some people around you sensed the truth long before it surfaced, yet they pretended not to see it. They chose silence because it benefited them. They chose distance because honesty would have exposed their own involvement. Their quietness wasn't innocence, it was convenience. And deep within, you felt this too. You felt the half-hearted support, the forced smiles, the artificial loyalty. You knew who remained neutral not because they were fair, but because they were hiding. This season revealed not just who lied, but who stayed silent while you were carrying the weight alone. It exposed the ones who watched everything unfold but never stepped in to help, guide, or comfort you. This revelation is not meant to make you bitter. It's meant to refine your circle. You now know who values truth, who values you, and who only values what you provide. This clarity will protect you from repeating cycles and trusting the wrong hearts again. Silence exposed more than the truth ever did. Your spirit didn't wait for facts. It sensed truth through energy, vibration, and alignment. Spiritual intuition often arrives before logical explanation. It shows up as discomfort, restlessness, or a sudden shift in how you see someone. Some call it instinct, others call it gut feeling, but you know it's deeper than that. It is divine discernment. God gives chosen ones the ability to see beyond words, beyond appearances, beyond intentions. You felt the truth long before it surfaced because your spirit is connected to divine timing. You weren't supposed to wait for proof. You were supposed to pay attention to what your soul was saying. Every uneasy feeling, every moment of emotional tension, every subtle warning was guidance. You were being spiritually informed so you wouldn't be blindsided when reality eventually caught up. This early awareness protected your heart from deeper harm. Your spirit sees what your eyes cannot. Some people build entire identities around deception, hoping no one will ever look closely enough to notice the cracks. But masks are heavy. Lies require maintenance. False intentions drain energy. Eventually, the performance becomes too exhausting to sustain. That's why the truth always finds a way out. It's easier to be real than to keep pretending. And you, chosen one, witnessed that mask slip. Those who wronged you were hoping you wouldn't see through them, but masks dissolve in the presence of authenticity. Your light exposed their shadows. Your honesty revealed their lies. Your strength intensified their insecurity. Masks fall around people who walk in truth because truth creates pressure that deception can't withstand. So eventually it happened, either through an action, a confession, a mistake, or divine timing. The reveal was inevitable. No mask survives in the presence of a pure spirit. This moment is not just about what was exposed, it's about who you are becoming. You handled deception with grace, silence, and strength. You refused to lose yourself while navigating confusion, doubt, and emotional difficulty. This says something profound about your character. You are not reactive, you are reflective. You are not chaotic, you are steady. You are not fragile, you are wise. The truth revealed more about you than about them. It showed your emotional intelligence, your resilience, your ability to perceive without attacking, and your commitment to protecting your peace. Many people cannot endure silent battles the way you did. Many cannot hold their dignity while being misjudged. Many cannot wait patiently for clarity, but you did all of it with integrity. This revelation is proof of your growth. When you look back at who you were when all this began, you'll realize how much you've changed. You've become more grounded, more aware, more emotionally stable. You no longer tolerate certain patterns, behaviors, or energies. You no longer give access to people who drain you. The truth didn't just expose others, it evolved you. It forced you to look inward, strengthen boundaries, and elevate your perception. This transformation didn't happen overnight. It took sleepless thoughts, unanswered questions, and emotional discomfort. But each moment shaped you into someone who sees with clarity and acts with purpose. The version of you today could never be tricked the way the old version was. This new strength is permanent. This new intuition is sharp. This new awareness is unstoppable. You evolved because truth demanded it. Sometimes God waits for you to close a door before He reveals what was behind it. As long as you were attached, the truth remained hidden to protect you from further pain. But the moment you walked away, clarity rushed in. Distance creates perspective. Detachment sharpens intuition. Silence amplifies truth. And once you left, everything became visible. Walking away wasn't emotional, it was spiritual. You didn't leave because you were weak. You left because your spirit needed space to heal and understand. This separation allowed the truth to surface without distraction, manipulation, or confusion. It's not that the truth wasn't present before, it's that you couldn't see it clearly from within the storm. Distance brought revelation. Leaving brought clarity. Divine justice doesn't always look like punishment, it often looks like revelation. When the truth comes out, people face themselves. They are confronted with their actions, their words, and the consequences of their choices. That exposure is justice in itself. You didn't need revenge. You didn't need to fight. You didn't need to prove anything. Time revealed what needed to be known. The universe knows how to balance energy. What was done in secret eventually returns to the surface. What was hidden becomes visible. What was denied becomes undeniable. This is the kind of justice that elevates you instead of draining you. It clears your path without staining your spirit. It shows that truth is far more powerful than retaliation. Revelation is justice. Clarity is liberation. It releases you from emotional confusion, mental exhaustion, and spiritual heaviness. When the truth surfaced, it didn't just prove you right, it set you free. You no longer have to question motives, doubt yourself, or replay scenarios in your mind. The guessing game is over. The emotional fog has lifted. You are finally able to breathe without weight. This newfound freedom is priceless. It opens the door for new beginnings, healthier connections, and deeper self-awareness. It removes the emotional anchors that once held you back. And most importantly, it restores your faith in yourself. You now trust your intuition more, trust your strength more, and trust your divine guidance more. This is the kind of freedom that reshapes your future. Truth frees you. This moment is a turning point in your life. When truth emerges, cycles end. When cycles end, new paths open. You are entering a chapter filled with better connections, clearer direction, and stronger intuition. Nothing that happens next will resemble what you left behind. This truth was the final piece you needed to stop looking back and start moving forward with confidence. This new chapter brings renewal. You will see opportunities unfold, relationships shift, and blessings align because you are no longer carrying confusion or emotional weight. Your energy is lighter now. Your mind is sharper. Your spirit is ready. Everything ahead of you is aligned with your purpose, not your pain. This chapter begins with clarity, not chaos. Everything you went through shaped you into someone wiser, stronger, and spiritually untouchable. The truth didn't come to destroy you, it came to strengthen you. Every moment of doubt, confusion, and emotional discomfort transformed you into someone with deeper understanding and sharper intuition. You didn't crumble under pressure. You didn't lose yourself in uncertainty. You rose slowly but surely into the person you were meant to become. Now you stand in truth, and truth stands with you. Let this be your reminder that no matter how long deception lasts, it can never erase what your spirit knows. You were chosen to see beyond what others ignored. You were chosen to remain strong until the unveiling. You were chosen to rise above what tried to break you. And you did, with grace, with power, with divine guidance leading every step. Truth built you. Chosen one, as you reach the end of this message, take a moment to acknowledge the strength it took to get here. You walked through seasons of uncertainty, carried truths no one else could see, and endured silent battles with grace. Now the truth is no longer hidden. It is standing in the open, honoring the intuition you trusted even when others doubted you. This is more than a revelation. It is a spiritual turning point. You are stepping into a season where you no longer question your discernment, your sensitivity, or your ability to perceive what others overlook. This clarity is your reward. This peace is your confirmation. And this moment is your divine release. As you move forward, remember that what was meant to confuse you has instead empowered you. What was hidden from you has now been revealed for you. And what once felt heavy has now transformed into wisdom you will carry for the rest of your life. You are not walking into your next chapter blindly. You are walking in with awakened eyes, sharpened intuition, and a heart aligned with truth. Allow this clarity to guide your steps, shape your decisions, and strengthen your boundaries. You deserve relationships rooted in truth, spaces that honor your spirit, and connections that match your integrity. Never again will you dim your intuition to make others comfortable. This new you stands bold, aware, and unshakably aligned. If this message spoke to your spirit, if it confirmed something deep inside of you, or if it brought the peace you've been waiting for, make sure you tap into this community. Like this video, Subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice adds power to this journey. And if you haven't already, join us fully by becoming part of the growing family here on Anointed Era, where every message is crafted to uplift, heal, and awaken the truth within you.